Manuel Chang was a quiet, methodical figure in Maputo's halls of power, the finance minister entrusted with the numbers that kept a fragile post-war recovery afloat. For years, he signed papers, met bankers, and smiled for photographs at ribbon cuttings. What he did not know the public would learn was that his ink was the hinge on a conspiracy that would shatter trust in an entire nation. This is the story of how roughly $2 billion of state-backed loans arranged in 2013 to 2014 through offshore companies and foreign banks were kept off official books and presented to the world as legitimate financing for fisheries and maritime security. In truth, investigators would later show the deals were engineered to conceal guarantees, pile on hidden liabilities, and channel commissions and kickbacks through a maze of shell corporations and shadow contractors. The cast was international. Big-name banks, a Lebanese-French shipbuilder, state-owned Mozambican companies with legitimate faces, EMAT, Pro Indicus, and MAM, and a sequence of ministers and advisors who signed guarantees that were never disclosed to donors or oversight bodies. Credit Suisse and VTB helped underwrite bonds and loans. Privinvest, a private shipbuilder, supplied contracts to build patrol vessels and floating processing platforms. On paper, the loans would pay for boats to protect Mozambican waters and build a tuna fishing industry that would lift the nation's prospects. The conspiracy was not a single act, but a pattern. Promoters created special purpose companies and insisted the costs were ordinary commercial fees. State guarantees were crafted and hidden from international lenders and from Mozambique's own parliament and donors. Money moved in tranches to offshore accounts. Some funds paid for vessels and equipment, but sizable sums evaporated into consultant fees, opaque contracts, and accounts that traced back to individuals rather than public coffers. Civil servants who pressed for transparency were sidelined. Auditors and donors were kept in the dark. The arrangement depended on secrecy, plausible commercial explanations, and the complicity or willful blindness of multiple intermediaries. Tensions surfaced in 2016 when foreign donors discovered the extent of state guarantees they had never approved. The IMF and European partners froze assistance. Mozambique's currency plunged, public services tightened, and the country teetered toward economic collapse. Ordinary Mozambicans felt the shock. Roads, schools, and hospitals saw budgets slashed as a debt hidden from the books became a public burden. Public outrage was immediate, but legal reckoning came slowly. Investigative journalists, NGOs, and prosecutors in several countries began to map the paper trail. Arrests and warrants followed. Former officials were accused, and one by one, the international pieces of the web were pulled into courtrooms in South Africa, Europe, and the United States. Manuel Chang himself was detained in 2018 on an international warrant. His arrest symbolized that the scandal had leapt borders and touched the corridors of global finance. Prosecutions and civil suits revealed the mechanics: banks that failed to apply due diligence, intermediaries who obscured beneficial owners, and a private contractor that allegedly paid bribes to secure contracts and influence. Governments opened investigations. Creditors demanded answers. Mozambique sued and countersued, and in turn faced pressure from creditors who did not want to shoulder debts taken without proper democratic process. By exposing the conspiracy, the deliberate concealment of state exposure, the use of shell companies, and the diversion of public funds into private hands, the scandal forced a reckoning about governance, the ethics of international finance, and the vulnerability of fragile democracies to sophisticated cross-border schemes. Some settlements and indictments have been reached. Many legal battles continue. But the human cost endures. A generation of Mozambicans living with reduced services and a sovereign credit rating that will take years to repair. This is not merely a tale of stolen money. It is a cautionary documentary about how global finance, when coupled with weak oversight and political expediency, can erode the social contract. The discovery of those hidden loans changed Mozambique and the world's view of how easy it can be to turn state debt into private gain. The story remains open, its full accounting still a task for courts, journalists, and a society demanding that the numbers finally tell the truth.